Whispers from the void. The massive radio telescope array at the Quantum Horizon Research Station stood silent against the backdrop of the Utah desert. Inside the control room, Dr. Elena Rodriguez adjusted her glasses, her fingers dancing across holographic displays that shimmered with endless streams of cosmic data. It was near midnight when the first anomaly appeared, a pattern not random, not natural. "Victor," Elena called to her colleague, her voice controlled but tinged with an edge of excitement. "You need to see this." Victor Novak, the station's chief communications analyst, rolled his chair across the gleaming floor. At 45, he had spent decades listening to the silent whispers of space, collecting nothing but static and background radiation. Tonight felt different. "Triangulate the source," he muttered, pulling up additional screens. The signal was weak but persistent, a rhythmic pulse that seemed to carry an underlying structure. Mathematical sequences emerged, prime numbers, geometric progressions, coordinates that defied random chance. "It's a message," Elena breathed. "Someone or something is trying to communicate." The signal originated from a star system 37.4 light-years away, in a region of space humanity had barely begun to explore. Its complexity suggested intelligence, but its fragmented nature hinted at desperation. Within hours, the Quantum Horizon team had alerted global scientific networks. The International Space Coordination Council convened an emergency session, bringing together the world's top astrophysicists, linguists, and communication experts. Dr. Malik Patel, head of the ISCC's Extraterrestrial Communication Division, studied the data with a mixture of professional detachment and barely contained wonder. "This isn't just a signal," he explained during the emergency briefing. "It's a cry for help." Advanced translation algorithms worked overtime, slowly decoding fragments of the message. Words emerged, or rather, conceptual impressions that transcended traditional language. Danger, threat, extinction, assistance. The global scientific community held its collective breath. Humanity was about to receive its first verifiable communication from an alien civilization, and it wasn't a peaceful greeting. It was a desperate plea. Elena Rodriguez found herself at the center of this historic moment. Her background in xenolinguistics and advanced communication theory made her the ideal lead for deciphering the mysterious transmission. Each decoded fragment revealed more about the unknown civilization's predicament. "They're under attack," she told the assembled experts. "But by whom and from where?" The signal repeated every 217 seconds, a rhythmic heartbeat of distress that seemed to carry both mathematical precision and emotional urgency. It spoke of a civilization on the brink, of technologies far beyond human understanding, and of a threat so significant that it warranted reaching out across the vast, cold expanse of interstellar space. Victor Novak monitored the signal's origin, plotting its trajectory and studying its unique electromagnetic signature. "We're looking at a civilization technologically advanced enough to send a focused, encrypted message across light years," he noted. "But something has driven them to desperation." As news of the transmission spread, humanity experienced a collective moment of anticipation. Social media exploded with theories and speculation. Government agencies scrambled to prepare potential response protocols. The scientific community worked around the clock, knowing that this could be the most significant moment in human history. The Quantum Horizon team continued their meticulous analysis, each decoded fragment bringing more questions than answers. What was the nature of the threat? Was the civilization that sent the message still alive? And most critically, what would humanity's response be? Dr. Elena Rodriguez looked at the cascading data, her mind racing with possibilities. Humanity stood at the precipice of its first genuine extraterrestrial communication, a moment that would forever alter our understanding of our place in the universe. The signal continued its rhythmic pulse, a beacon of hope and fear from the depths of unknown space, waiting for a response that could change everything, deciphering the cosmic whisper. The International Space Coordination Council's secure research facility hummed with intense activity. Banks of quantum computers lined the walls, their cooling systems creating a low, persistent drone that matched the tension in the room. Dr. Elena Rodriguez stood before a massive holographic display, her fingers tracing the intricate patterns of the alien transmission. Dr. Kwesi Okoro, a renowned xenolinguistics expert from the African Space Research Institute, leaned closer to the projection. His dark eyes reflected the shifting mathematical sequences that danced across the screen. "These aren't just random signals," he muttered. "It's a language, a complex, multi-dimensional communication system." Victor Novik worked alongside a team of cryptographers, linguists, and quantum communication specialists. Each breakthrough came with painstaking effort, decoding what seemed to be layers upon layers of meaning. The signal was more than a simple message. It was a comprehensive data package that seemed designed to be understood by an intelligence capable of complex abstract thinking. "Look at this," Elena called out, zooming in on a particular section of the transmission. A series of geometric progressions began to take shape, not just mathematical sequences, but something more profound. "It's like they're teaching us how to understand them step by step." The global scientific community watched with bated breath. News networks ran continuous coverage, speculation running wild about the nature of the transmission. Was it a warning, a plea for help, or something entirely beyond human comprehension? Dr. Malik Patel organized a multinational task force, bringing together the brightest minds from every continent. Linguists worked alongside astronomers, quantum physicists collaborated with communication experts, all united by a single goal: understanding the message from the stars. Days turned into weeks. The signal continued its rhythmic pulse, a cosmic heartbeat that seemed to grow more complex with each analysis. Fragments of understanding began to emerge, concepts that transcended traditional language, ideas that hinted at a civilization facing an existential threat. "They're showing us their destruction," Kwesi said quietly during one late-night session. The holographic display revealed imagery that defied easy interpretation, geometric representations of conflict, of technological systems under assault, of something approaching from beyond known space. Victor noticed a pattern emerging. "These aren't just coordinates or mathematical sequences," he explained to the team. "They're a form of compressed knowledge. It's as if they're trying to share their entire technological and cultural understanding in the most efficient way possible." The breakthrough came unexpectedly. Dr. Elena Rodriguez had been studying a seemingly random section of the transmission when she noticed a recursive pattern, a self-referential code that began to unlock deeper layers of meaning. "It's a survival record," she announced to the stunned research team. "They're not just sending a message, they're sending their entire civilization's knowledge, hoping someone, anyone, might receive it and understand." The implications were staggering. This was more than a distress signal. It was a time capsule, a desperate attempt to preserve a civilization on the brink of extinction. Global leaders began to convene emergency sessions. Military strategists analyzed the potential threat. Scientific institutions worked around the clock to decode more of the transmission. The world watched and waited, knowing that humanity stood on the precipice of its greatest discovery. "We're dealing with something beyond our current understanding," Malik explained during a global broadcast. "This transmission represents a level of communication that challenges everything we know about interstellar contact." As the team continued their analysis, one question burned brighter than all others. What could pose such a threat to an apparently advanced civilization that they would send such a comprehensive, desperate message across the vast emptiness of space? The signal continued its rhythmic pulse, a beacon of hope, of warning, of ultimate survival. Humanity listened, decoded, and prepared. Whatever was coming, they would face it with the full force of human curiosity, intelligence, and determination. The void of space held its breath, waiting for a response. Preparing for the impossible. The Integrated Global Space Initiative headquarters in Geneva buzzed with unprecedented activity. What had begun as a scientific mission had transformed into humanity's most ambitious interstellar endeavor. Captain Zara Kaminsky stood before the massive holographic display, her steel-gray eyes scanning the preliminary mission schematics. At 42, Kaminsky was a veteran of humanity's most challenging space missions. Her background in quantum propulsion engineering and deep space navigation made her the natural choice to lead the most critical expedition in human history. The mission had been dubbed Operation Lifeline, a testament to its primary objective of responding to the alien distress signal. "We're looking at a complete redesign of the Horizon-class deep space vessels," explained Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, the lead propulsion engineer. His holographic projection flickered slightly, a reminder of the incredible technological leap they were attempting. "Traditional antimatter drives won't cut it. We need something revolutionary." The mission faced seemingly insurmountable challenges. The target star system was 37.4 light-years away, a distance that would take conventional spacecraft millennia to traverse. But the decoded alien transmission suggested technologies far beyond current human understanding. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, now a key member of the mission planning team, presented her latest findings. "The signal contains more than just a cry for help," she explained to the assembled International Council. "It includes fragments of advanced scientific principles, hints at propulsion technologies that could revolutionize our understanding of space travel." Viktor Novik had been instrumental in translating these technological fragments. "It's like they're giving us a blueprint," he said, pointing to complex quantum entanglement diagrams that seemed to defy classical physics. "These aren't just schematics, they're a technological Rosetta Stone." The mission would require more than just advanced technology. It would need the best of humanity, a carefully selected crew that could represent human resilience, adaptability, and compassion. Captain Kaminsky worked closely with Dr. Kwesi Okoro to select the mission team. They needed experts who could adapt to the unknown, scientists, engineers, linguists, and military personnel who could face unprecedented challenges. "We're not just sending a rescue mission," Kaminsky explained during the crew selection briefing. "We're potentially making first contact with an advanced civilization facing an existential threat." The Horizon Prime, humanity's first true deep space vessel, took shape in orbital shipyards. Unlike previous spacecraft, it incorporated technologies derived directly from the alien transmission. Quantum communication arrays that could potentially bridge vast interstellar distances. Adaptive hull materials that could reconfigure based on environmental challenges. Propulsion systems that manipulated spacetime itself. Political challenges were as complex as the technological ones. The mission required unprecedented global cooperation. Nations that had long been rivals now worked together, pooling resources, knowledge, and expertise. "This is bigger than any single nation," Dr. Malik Patel argued during a United Nations special session. "We're talking about humanity's first genuine interstellar mission. Our response could define our species' future." Intensive training began for the mission crew. Simulations pushed human adaptability to its limits. They trained not just in technical skills, but in psychological resilience. How does one prepare for a mission where everything, absolutely everything, is unknown? Dr. Elena Rodriguez developed specialized communication protocols based on the alien transmission's mathematical foundations. "We're creating a universal communication framework," she explained. "Something that could potentially bridge the gap between entirely different forms of intelligence." As launch day approached, the world watched with a mixture of hope and trepidation. This was more than a scientific mission. It was a statement of human potential, a declaration that when faced with the unknown, humanity would respond with courage, intelligence, and an unbreakable spirit of exploration. Captain Zara Kaminsky stood on the observation deck of the Horizon Prime, looking out at the Earth below. Somewhere in the vast darkness of space, an unknown civilization had sent a desperate message, and humanity was about to answer. The countdown to humanity's greatest adventure had begun, echoes of a dying civilization. The Horizon Prime emerged from quantum translation space with a silent, devastating impact. Captain Zara Kaminsky gripped her command chair as the ship's advanced sensors began mapping the alien star system, that had sent the desperate transmission. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the tension that electrified the bridge. Lieutenant Adriana Volkov, the ship's primary sensor officer, worked her holographic controls with practiced precision. "Multiple anomalies detected, Captain," she reported. "The third planet shows catastrophic damage. Entire continents appear to have been reshaped by massive energy events." Dr. Alina Rodriguez approached the main view screen, her scientific curiosity overriding her initial shock. The planet below was a graveyard, a world that had clearly experienced a cataclysmic conflict. Massive energy scars crisscrossed its surface, oceans had been vaporized, and entire mountain ranges had been reduced to molten plains. "This wasn't a natural disaster," Kwesiakoro muttered, analyzing the spectral data. "This was deliberate, systematic destruction." Victor Novik's fingers danced across his communication console, parsing the residual signal fragments. "I'm picking up fragmented transmissions," he called out. "They're degraded, but they're still broadcasting." Captain Kaminsky turned to Dr. Rodriguez. "Can you make anything of it?" Elena studied the signal carefully. "It's a log," she said slowly. "A record. They knew they were dying and wanted anyone to understand what happened." The bridge fell silent as the alien civilization's final moments began to take shape. The transmissions revealed a civilization that had reached incredible technological heights, only to face a threat beyond their comprehension. "Incoming contacts," Lieutenant Volkov suddenly shouted. "Multiple unidentified vessels approaching from the fourth planet's orbit." The ship's tactical systems came alive. Unlike anything in human design, these vessels appeared to be living constructs, part machine, part something entirely alien. They moved with a precision that suggested an intelligence far removed from biological limitations. "Defensive positions," Kaminsky ordered. "But hold fire, we're here to understand, not to engage." Dr. Malik Patel, who had been studying the alien communication protocols, leaned forward. "They're scanning us," he said. "But not like a weapon system would. It's more like communication." The alien vessels formed a geometric pattern around the Horizon Prime, not threatening, but not welcoming either. They seemed to be analyzing every aspect of the human ship, testing its capabilities, its intentions. "They're using the same mathematical language from the original transmission," Alina realized. "They're trying to understand us just as we're trying to understand them." A breakthrough came unexpectedly. Victor Novik detected a specific frequency, a resonance that matched the original distress signal. "They're responding to our presence," he said, his voice trembling with excitement. "But responding to what?" The truth began to emerge in fragments. The civilization had been fighting something beyond traditional warfare, an existential threat that consumed entire planetary systems. Their message wasn't just a call for help. It was a warning. Captain Kaminsky made a decisive choice. "Prepare a communication package," she ordered. "Use the mathematical protocols we developed. We're going to show them we're here to help." As the Horizon Prime hung in space, surrounded by these mysterious alien constructs, humanity waited. They had traveled 37.4 light-years to answer a cry for help, only to find a battlefield of cosmic proportions. The first contact was about to begin, not with a handshake, but with a complex dance of mathematics, technology, and the fundamental hope of understanding. In the vast silence of space, two civilizations stood on the precipice of either conflict or comprehension. The cosmic legacy. The standoff with the alien constructs lasted hours, a tense ballet of technological marvel and mutual uncertainty. Captain Zara Kaminsky watched as the geometric vessels continued their intricate dance around the Horizon Prime, each movement a complex language of its own. "They're waiting," Dr. Alina Rodriguez said softly, her hand hovering over the communication interface. "But waiting for what?" A breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Victor Novik, working with the ship's advanced translation algorithms, detected a pattern, not in sound or traditional communication, but in the very quantum fabric of the surrounding space. "It's a memory," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "Not just information, a living record." The alien vessels began to project holographic representations that defied human understanding. Scenes of a civilization's rise and fall played out around the Horizon Prime's bridge, not as a linear narrative, but as a multi-dimensional experience that simultaneously showed past, present, and potential futures. Dr. Kwesi Okoro struggled to interpret the transmission. "They're not just showing us what happened," he explained. "They're sharing their entire existential experience. The threat that destroyed them wasn't just a physical enemy, it was something more fundamental." The images revealed a cosmic predator, an entity that consumed not just planets or civilizations, but entire potential timelines. A threat so profound that it existed beyond traditional concepts of warfare or survival. Captain Kaminsky made a decision that would define humanity's first true interstellar encounter. "We're going to receive their full transmission," she commanded. "All of it." The ship's quantum communication arrays expanded, creating a bridge between human technology and the alien constructs. What followed was less a transfer of information and more a shared consciousness, a momentary fusion of two civilizations' entire collective knowledge. The crew experienced millennia of alien history in what seemed like both an instant and an eternity. They witnessed the civilization's greatest achievements, their most profound failures, and the ultimate threat that led to their near extinction. "They're asking us to remember," Elena realized, "not just to mourn but to prepare." As the transmission completed, the alien vessels began to transform. Parts of their living technology detached, not as a weapon, but as a gift. Technological seeds that contained the accumulated knowledge of a civilization that refused to be completely erased. Dr. Malik Patel looked at the emerging artifacts with a mixture of scientific excitement and profound respect. "They've found a way to survive," he said. "Not as a physical civilization, but as a legacy, a warning, a hope." The Horizon Prime's mission had transformed. What began as a rescue mission had become something far more significant, a cosmic inheritance. Humanity was now the custodians of a civilization's final hope, bearers of a warning about a threat that existed beyond traditional understanding. As they prepared to return to Earth, Captain Kaminsky addressed her crew. "We're bringing back more than information," she said. "We're bringing back a responsibility, a promise to a civilization that chose hope over extinction." The journey home would be long, but the real journey was just beginning. Humanity had received its first true message from the stars, and the universe would never be the same. In the vast darkness between star systems, the seeds of two civilizations' potential began to intertwine, a testament to the power of understanding, of survival, of hope.